Assalamualaikum dear students. Hope you all are fine and enjoying good health at home. And I hope you have done your homework for unit number 1. And now we are going to start unit number 2 and our topic is the 3 precious packets. Learning objectives. You will be able to understand, read and understand folktale, make predictions in narrations. You can predict that what is going to happen next onward in the story, understand the effect of contrasting descriptions and use verbs and adverbs. You can use verbs and adverbs to compare the one or more things in the story. Understand and use adjectival phrases. The adjectival phrases makes the story more interesting and bring excitement to the story. Understand and recognize main clause. You can make sentences with subject, verb and object, main clauses. Write diary entries. When you read the whole story, you will be able to write diary entries. You can also write some your daily routine work in the form of stories. Write folk tales. So coming to the topic, we are going to start critical analysis of the story, that what is happening in the text. In this excerpt, a poor student seeks refuge in a village in one cold evening. When night falls, a stranger arrives at the inn. The stranger appears to be poorer than the student, filled with pity for the man. The student offers him his food and his bed. Soon the student realizes that the stranger was not an ordinary man. He was an envoy from the underworld. The envoy tells the students that he is grateful for his kindness. The lesson comprises of moral values. In our previous lecture, the blind boy, we come to know that the boy is quite kind and he's showing his moral values. And in this chapter, the writer also shows that the envoy tells the student that he is grateful for his kindness. Our moral values are much important for us. So read the text carefully so that you could be able to answer the questions given at the end of the chapter in different levels, level 1, 2 and 3. The first level is you have to identify literal information in the text and then infer meaning in the second level. And in the third level, you have to, the paragraph is given and you have to extract answer from that paragraph. So coming to the vocabulary, you are going to learn some new words in this story. I'm going to read these words loudly so that you come to know about the meanings of these words. First word is rejoice, that means happy. Dumpling, that means increase. Stiffly means strictly. Stumbling, that means losing balance. And while messenger, crinked, trembled. What you have to do is to take out your pencils and underline the difficult words given in the text on page number 20 and page number 21 in your textbooks. And I am reading few words loudly which you have to understand. Number 1 is bitterly, then charcoal pressure, and then suffuse. It is a verb. Suffuse is a verb used in the story. And as a contrast, this brief, then stiffly, stumbling. In second paragraph, crinked, pleading. Pleading means to please. You are requesting for something. Then eagerly, you are curious about something. In third paragraph, eagerly, stretch to extend your hand. Then raked. In fourth paragraph, tickled, and in fifth paragraph, grunted, fetch, grab something. Then in sixth paragraph, you have to underline dumplings, means increasing in no time at all. That means number 7, in 7th paragraph, immediately snored, a voice of a bull. Then in 8th paragraph, gazed, you are looking continuously at something. That means in ninth paragraph in white, that is messenger. That means messenger. Underline these words and then use them in sentences. Find out their antonyms and synonyms to enhance your vocabulary, and then use them in writing story and in writing different tales, for story tales, your daily routine. And coming to your book, on page number 25, you can see the use of contrast in the vocabulary. In your exercise, what you have to do is, you have to see the style that is important when you write, and there are various techniques we can use in creative writing. You can, contrasting descriptions being one of them. You are going to compare one thing with another thing. For example, why the writer used contrast in this story? Writer used contrast in this story to more vivid and make it them more interesting so that you could read. And powerful contrasting descriptions can help to provide emphasis on character situation. Sometimes you can use the contrasting descriptions to enhance your emphasize on something and on this, to emphasize on the character. So I am going to write few examples, and first I will go read in your story, from your story in paragraph number 1, last two lines, that is, he drove the chill from inside him with a bowl of hot tea. Soon he felt a pleasant glow suffuse his whole body. Soon he felt a pleasant glow, or then he felt something very pleasant. The pleasant, glow, and suffuse. These are adverb, adjectives, and the strong verb used in the sentence to make the sentence more beautiful. Dear students, as you know that we are discussing contrast. So contrast, the state of being strikingly different from something else in juxtaposition, means opposite. Snow fell steadily from leaden sky. Fell downwards. Leaden sky means upward. Means something high, very high. So steadily is the adverb and leaden is adjective in this sentence. The writer used contrast to enhance the beauty. Soon he felt a pleasant glow suffuse. Soon he felt is a suffuse is a strong verb used in the sentence. That's why he didn't use adverb. Pleasant is adjective and glow is noun in this sentence. So coming to the next, adjectival phrases. Adjectives, as you know that adjectives are often used to qualify nouns and add details to descriptions. Sometimes a group of words, including words joined with a hyphen, are used as adjectives. These are adjectival phrases. Adjective phrase. Adjective phrase is a group of words that describe a noun or pronoun. For example, the final exams were unbelievably difficult. Unbelievably difficult means this is an adjectival phrase. The new outfit was really beautiful. Really beautiful. Beautiful is adjective in this sentence. The adjective is in an adjective phrase can appear at the start, end, or in the middle. As you can see in this example, the adjective phrase is at the end. The adjective is in the end, and also in this sentence, adjective is in the end in this adjectival phrase. The adjective phrase can be placed before or after the noun or pronoun in the sentence. The sentence given in your book on page number 25, the high snow-capped mountains seem to touch the sky. The high snow-capped mountains, the high snow-capped is an adjective used in this phrase. Now coming to the exercise on page number 26 and 27, you have to fill in the blanks in each passage with suitable adjectives from the box given to you, and in part B of vocabulary you have to write few sentences using adjectival phrases for contrast, to make a contrast between these two peaks. For example, winter and summer, spring and autumn, these are totally opposite to each other. So solve these exercises so that you come to know about more and more knowledge about the contrast and adjectival phrases. So coming to the grammar portion, we are going to discuss clause. What is clause? Dear students, you have read about sentences. A sentence is a group of words that make sense. A complete group of words that contains a subject and predicate. What is predicate? Predicate is a verb and object. For example, the stranger opened the door. The stranger is subject in this sentence, and opened is verb, and open the door, that is object. Door is object. So this is predicate, open the door is predicate, and stranger is subject in this sentence. So it is a main, this is a main clause that contains subject and predicate. In your book, sometimes there is also discussed about different types of sentences: compound sentence, subordinate clauses. What is compound sentence? Sometimes a sentence can have two main clauses joined together. Sometimes a sentence have two main clauses joined together. For example, with conjunctions, with the help of conjunctions. He loved mango juice. He loved mango juice. This itself is a sentence. A one sentence. She loved lime juice. A second sentence. But both these sentences are joined using conjunction and. So this and is used to join these two sentences to make a compound sentence. Compound means a sentence having two main clauses, two or more clauses. Another example of compound sentence is: she is healthy but she is ill. This is also a main clause and this is also a main clause. So we can also call these sentences as coordinate clauses. We can also call the compound sentence as coordinate clauses. She is healthy but she is ill. The sentence, the conjunction is used to make coordinate clauses. Now we are going to discuss. So we are discussing different types of clause: coordinate clause, subordinate clause. Now subordinate clause. It does not make sense on its own. For example, if I am saying because he was hungry, I am only discussing this sentence because he was hungry. This means this is the subordinate clause. It is not making sense. But when I use another part of this sentence, that new ordered soup, that is the main clause of this sentence. That is the main clause of this sentence. And for example, new ordered soup because he was hungry. Because he ate breakfast. Why he ate breakfast? That is subordinate clause. It does not making sense on its own, and it also has subject and a verb. There is also he is the subject, was verb, hungry is adjective or verb used in this sentence, but it does not make sense on its own. It usually begins with words such as because, when, which, and who. A subordinate clause can be joined to main clause to form a complex sentence as shown. This overall is a complex sentence. But if we write because he was hungry, then this is subordinate clause. This is subordinate clause. But if we write the complete sentence using commas and the main clause, then it is a compound sentence. Then it is a complete sentence. You can see on your book page number 28 and 29 there are different exercises you have to solve for your practicing the clauses. To underline the subject, circle the verbs. You have to make subordinate clauses when mark correct punctuations. On page number 28 and 29 you have to solve these exercises for your practice. coming to the homework, learn and solve unit number 2 complete. Handouts are available to you from at your WhatsApp number. Number 2, write story using adjectival phrases. Number 3, learn essay my favorite hobby from your grammar book. Students, handouts are available on your WhatsApp through school WhatsApp number. For further details, you have to follow the official page of Garrison School System on Facebook. See you next week. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz. Stay home, stay safe.